What's going on, guys? We are here at CES 2023 and this is the Cooler Master Suite. And it's not really a suite, it's actually a giant space where they have a whole bunch of new products, audio stuff, immersive gaming stuff, racing sim stuff, custom systems built. There's a lot to look at. Let's get started.
BPS Custom's coverage of CES 2023 is powered by Thermaltake and their new Series 500 cases. Available in black or snow options, Thermaltake gives you the power of airflow and performance with 4 included ARGB fans and massive radiator support. There's also option for an LCD side panel upgrade that displays system info, weather, time, and more. Check out these stylish new Series 500 TG cases available January 4th, and thank you to Thermaltake for making this video possible.
All right, so a big feature of this year's CES for Cooler Master is actually going to be immersive technology, and it starts right here with this chair. This is the Motion 1. It's a collaboration that Cooler Master has done with D-Box, and you can see the D-Box unit at the base down there. But otherwise, it is a gaming chair with a pretty unique design. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but what you get for that price is honestly pretty impressive, and I did experience this myself while playing some Forza. So essentially what you're looking at here is the D-Box unit on the bottom and a custom Cooler Master chair mounted to the top. Now you'll notice that this definitely looks different than your normal gaming chair, and Cooler Master did this purposefully with a really nice headrest situation, and this is actually a super comfortable chair. It's not your typical gamery kind of chair, which I definitely appreciate. The chair is fully haptic enabled by this box, meaning that the chair can move forward, back, up, down, rumble, all that stuff. There are no motors in the chair itself. Everything is controlled from the box, but this is perfect for things like racing games, where if you sit down and you hit the brakes on your Bronco, you actually pitch forward and it feels like you're in the driver's seat. Now, we did see something like this last year from Razer, also partnered with D-Box, but this Cooler Master design is actually much closer to market than that Razer design was, and it's going to be $22.99, so quite expensive, but what you get for that price is actually very impressive as far as the functionality. D-Box has encoded 80 games at launch that already come pre-programmed, and you have up to 2,500 movies and series that also work in conjunction with their software. Again, as part of their initiative for more immersive gaming, they are getting into simulator cockpits. Now, right now they have this set up as a racing sim, and they actually have a full one going on over here that is being demoed by somebody. But check this thing out. This is incredibly substantial. I have a racing sim at home and it does not look like this. This is called the Dyne X, and it's a cockpit that you can change to accommodate both racing and flight simulators, and the seating position will change according to what kind of racing you're going to be doing. So you have Formula 1 racing, you have rally racing, and you can change the cockpit and the configuration, height of the pedals, tilt of the seat, in order to match the kind of driving that you're actually doing. Now, it isn't going to be cheap. The rig itself, without the chair or any other accessories, is going to be $2,000. It's coming at the end of Q1, but they are also going to introduce a full rig setup with monitor stands and a chair that actually is approved by the FIA. This is definitely a premium product in both look and feel, and while it is going to be more expensive than a lot of other sim rigs out there, it's also going to be a lot more sturdy and maybe a lot more professional for people who take this thing really seriously. But you will see this at the end of Q1, and the pricing on the other things like the monitor stands and the seat are yet undetermined. But again, $2,000 for just the rig itself. Something that you're likely not going to see on store shelves, but is something that Cooler Master is selling, is this. This is the Orb X. And get ready for the price here, folks. This is $15,000. It's not really meant to be a consumer-facing product. In fact, Cooler Master is targeting more at B2B sales for this, and they've already had a lot of orders for hotels, high-end businesses, people that want to put this like in their lobby or use it for other things other than sitting there and playing a game. But it definitely does have some gaming applications, and I can tell you from sitting in this chair that it is actually extremely comfortable. It kind of works like a movie theater chair where you have all the different controls, lumbar support, tilt, you can recline, and it's all done by this remote control. Now, if we take a look inside, we can see that there's a monitor hung here from this integrated monitor stand, and it can support up to 3 27-inch monitors inside of the Orb X. There is a hidden compartment around back for you to store your PC and route all your cables up and through and then down the monitor. as you see right here. Now, it also has integrated surround sound speakers up top, and they are working on a haptics add-on where you're going to have the same kind of haptic feedback that are in some of their other products in this chair, and it all is going to come with the same package for the Orb X. So what do you guys think? You're going to be buying an Orb X for your home office? It might be a tough sell. Might be a tough sell, but it is really cool. More immersive technology with the Sync X chair. Now, again, this is another chair that moves similar to the Motion 1, but this one's a little bit different. This one has two haptic motors, one in the base and one in the backrest, that actually just kind of vibrates you a lot. And this is more targeted for movies, TV shows, and you can even put this in your living room, they're saying, because it does have a footrest that kind of slides out, and you could use this as a recliner. Also, there is a pressure module in the base that when you sit down, it actually locks it in place, so it's not going to roll all over the place, even when you are vibrating from the haptics. Now, the way the haptics actually work is that there is Bluetooth connectivity between your audio source and the chair itself, and then you plug in your speakers or your headphones to the chair. I asked them if there was any problem with latency on this, because that would be my biggest concern. You definitely don't want to have latency between the haptics and what you're hearing, but they said that shouldn't be a problem. They're working on a low latency system. So we're gonna have to take the word for it, but what I experienced was the trailer for Top Gun Maverick, and it actually made the experience very immersive, and it was really cool. Again though, this is not gonna be a cheap product. It will be available at the end of the month for $1,300. Cooler Master is going to be launching a whole new website called CModX, and as part of CModX, what they're going to be doing is selling boutique system builds like this Sneaker X, this crazy thing, the Shark X, and other more normal systems like this Mini X. Now you'll notice the X as a theme here, and that is definitely not an accident. They're branding all these systems basically the same, so you kind of know what you're going to be getting. But essentially, what they're going to be doing is offering custom system builds and almost acting as an SI for some of these systems. Now, in the case of the Shark and the Sneaker, you're talking super limited production, but not necessarily something that you won't be able to get your hands on if you want to. The Shark is going to be about $7,000, and the Sneaker is going to be between $4,000 and $6,000 depending on the configuration. What Cooler Master is aiming to do here is introduce some brand partnerships. So this, for instance, would be perfect to use for maybe a sports team or something along those lines, where you could put the team's logo on colorway on a custom one-off sneaker and then have this in the offices or somewhere where it's going to be on display. Now, these are fully functional systems that are configurable with up to 4 different AMD and Intel systems, as you can see right inside here. And I am told that it will fit up to an RTX 4090 Founders Edition, although that will be pretty tight. The design of the Sneaker X and Shark X actually came from users during Cooler Master's Mod World series. So this was one of the designs that was submitted, and Cooler Master has worked with the designer of that system to license the idea and then make it a more maybe friendly piece to manufacture. But essentially, this is a user-created piece that Cooler Master has said, hey, that's really cool, let's actually make that. And then the same thing goes for the Shark X. Now this one is a little bit more involved and it is quite a bit bigger, hence the higher price. But again, you're going to be able to configure the system with a couple of different hardware partnerings. You're going to have an AMD and an Intel option, but more than likely, this is probably going to be something that you're going to see maybe in the lobby of a corporate office or something. They said they actually already have some orders for one of these. So that's pretty cool, but I don't think this is something that you're necessarily going to see on store shelves or in somebody's home. It's just a bit unwieldy, although they are offering it for sale if you want one. I asked them if they can maybe just offer the case for sale, because I think that would be pretty awesome, and they said probably not going to happen. The logistics of shipping something like this just make it really cost prohibitive. Now this is actually something that is really cool. Cooler Master is also, as a part of CModX, introducing this. It's a little all-in-one system that they're going to offer. They're not going to sell the case by itself, but you can configure a system and purchase this case. And you know, it kind of just looks like a small, maybe mini ITX case. It's got the rails from their Cosmos on it, so little Cooler Master branding there. But the main innovation here is not necessarily the case itself, it's the cooling system. So each side panel here, both this side and the other side, actually look like this on the interior. This is essentially a reservoir that channels the coolant top to bottom, and you can see it kind of flowing in there right now, and dissipates some heat out of the side panel. And this is going to help keep acoustics to an absolute minimum. In fact, they said at full operating load, you're only going to hear about 30 decibels out of this because there's a lot of passive heat dissipation coming off of these panels because of all these channels that the coolant is running through and dissipating heat through these exterior panels. And then the reservoirs from both side panels are actually channeled back here to this radiator, and there are two 120 millimeter fans exhausting air out the back. But because there is a lot of passive heat dissipation out of these fins, the fans don't have to spin very much, and you get a very low noise production as a result. And then we've got a couple of cases here. One is new, and one of them is pretty much a refresh. So this is the new one. This is the Qube 500. That's Qube. And if it looks familiar, well, it kind of is. It's based off of the Q series that Cooling Master came out with a few years ago, except this one, obviously, has a few more tricks up its sleeve. Now, this is coming out probably around June for $89, and the biggest selling point here is that this is kind of a DIY case. It's going to come flat packed, like you saw from a couple products over at InWin the other day. And you're going to build it yourself with minimal screws. And I asked them about the kind of screws that you're going to be using, and they actually said all the screws in this case are going to be the same, which is definitely something that I appreciate. Now, the case is going to come with multiple different side panel options. You're going to have a tempered glass, and you're going to have a high airflow one with all of these perforations. And mounting them requires no screws. So you just kind of pop it onto the side there, the same way that you pop on these exterior panels. Now, the panels themselves can be taken off very easily, and they are interchangeable. However, when you buy the case, you do have to choose your color. So unfortunately, Cooling Master doesn't necessarily have any plans to sell different colors of the exterior panels, but when you buy it, you could buy black, you could buy white, you could buy green, yellow, or this kind of aqua. And then you have these panels all around that are easy to interchange if you do manage to get your hands on another set. I did try to convince them to offer these for sale. I think that would be a cool little feature where you could swap the colors and interchange the panels if you want to, but they said maybe not. So I don't know if that's actually ever going to happen, but at least you do have the choice of up to 5 different colors when you do buy the case. Now, interior. This is an interesting design because you have the power supply actually mounted up front, and this is a full ATX size case despite its small footprint. It can also house up to 3 280 millimeter radiators using this included bracket, which mounts on the side, and then you use the included high airflow side panel to mount in front of it. You wouldn't want to mount the glass if you're using a third 280 millimeter radiator mounted on the side because obviously you get no airflow that way. However, you do have options on the way you build this and the color you build it in. We're not going to go into too much detail here, but Cooling Master, like a lot of other companies that make power supplies, is coming out with a whole new line of ATX 3.0 compatible units, and that is always a good thing. A lot of the companies that have these units available right now are actually completely sold out, but you have 12 VH power available on these units as they are ATX 3.0 compatible, including this tiny cute little SFX one, which is really cool. And how can you have a Cooling Master suite visit without talking about the Hyper 212? This is the Hyper 212 Halo series, and it is coming soon for $49, available in black or white. It comes with their new Halo fans. There's not a whole lot to say about the Hyper 212. If you're into PC hardware for any length of time, you know about it. But this is supposed to be an entry-level air cooler for lower-end CPUs, and obviously it's probably the most popular cooler of all time. Cooling Master does continue to refresh it from time to time, and this is one of those. But this is a new Hyper. This is the Hyper 622. As you can see, this is a dual tower, dual fan design. Should offer a lot better cooling, especially for higher TDP chips. No pricing or availability yet on this, but it is coming this year. And then we have this guy, the MA824 Stealth. This one is a beefy boy. Check that out. The fans actually are different sizes to accommodate the interior versus exterior layout here. The fin stack is enormous, and there are 8 heat pipes at the bottom. I really do like the look of this because obviously everything is nice and black and powder coated and fits in with the stealth theme and stealth name, but no RGB fans with this because they wanted to keep it really nice and simple and sleek, and I definitely think that they achieved that. It looks pretty cool. This is going to be around $99 and is coming again later this year. No exact release date just yet. So that is a wrap from Cooler Master CES 2023. I want to give a big thank you to Thermaltake for sponsoring our CES content. Check them out at the link down below in the video description. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content coming very soon right here on the channel.